All right. Good evening and welcome to the Queen Anne's County Board of Education meeting for July 12th, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we met in closed session earlier. Is that you, Alexis, who's going to?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Pursuant to the general provisions, Article Section 3-305 and Section 3-104, the Board of Education of Queen Anne's County will meet in a closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals, and to consider the investment of public funds.
Okay, board members, have you had a chance to review the agenda for tonight?
Make a motion, we approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we move on to awards and presentations. Dr. Salem?
Yes, absolutely. If you'll join me, please.
Of course. Oh,
Gotta get my glasses or
That's
that
all right.
might be touch and go there. So I'd like to invite up Mr. Sidkinder, who's our nominator for our first award. Our first award is, this award is given to a staff member or volunteer who keeps on going. It is sponsored by our Bayview Financial, Mr. Chip Brittingham, Mr. Wayne Humphreys. If they will please come forward. So our Energizer Bunny, I'd like to invite up Mr. John Murdoch. This award is being presented to Mr. Murdoch, who is the Supervisor of Transportation for Queen Anne's County Public Schools. John is usually the first person to arrive at work and the last person to leave late in the evening. I often have to tell John, it's Friday, go home and enjoy time with your family. John is always adapting to the ever-changing needs of the school system to make sure students are safely transported to and from school every single day. Whether there is a chance of fog, snow, or ice, John has his staff are always on top of the situation and are out on the roads at 4 a.m. monitoring the situation to make the decision by 5. I've never met a more dedicated employee, and I have no idea how he keeps his batteries always charged. This is why he is the epitome of the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps on going and going. So congratulations. Perfect, thank you. We do appreciate everything you do. Big job. Now I'd like to invite up Mr. Matt Evans. So the next award is the Shining Star Award. This award recognizes someone in our school system who shines. Our July Shining Star is Megan Pinder. Megan joined the student service team in the fall of 2019 as the mental health coordinator and hit the ground running, immediately teaming up with Sterling Ward, who's also here this evening. Megan assists students and families with access to behavioral health resources inside and outside of school setting. Once the pandemic hit and schools were shut down, Megan was instrumental in assisting families with accessing their providers virtually through telehealth. In addition, Megan provided consultation to school-based administrators and staff regarding what's called ACEs, which is the Adverse Childhood Experiences, also trauma-informed care, and how to use a multi-tiered system of supports to provide interventions and supports to all of our students. Megan continues to partner with families and other agencies to ensure access and continuity of services. So thank you for what you do for our kids. So our next award is the Queen Anne's County Spirit Award. This award is given to an individual who embodies the spirit of Queen Anne's County Public Schools, and our July award winner is Sterling Ward. Sterling is in the unique position of living in the special education world as well as the student service world simultaneously, working as both a mental health coordinator and a clinical resource specialist. This has allowed Sterling to serve students and families from all areas of Queen Anne's County. When a home visit is needed, Sterling is there. She's on it. And if a student is experiencing a crisis that requires an evaluation, Sterling's there at the hospital supporting the family. Sterling is also responsible for initiating school-based mental health for Queen Anne's County Public Schools, and over the years has established relationships and multiple MOUs with behavioral health providers. These major accomplishments have allowed our students to be seen both inside and outside of the school day, and also provides families with many, many different choices for choosing for their provider. So thank you for what you do for our students as well. Yes, thank you, Sarah.
That's all right. Okay, we come to board involvement. Would any member of the board like to take the floor?
Well, it's been a pretty light month. Everybody's been on vacation, but I did meet with Dr. Salins and some staff members with the commissioners yesterday, going over a couple like safety proposals, Career Center grant, and a capital project update. Mr. Pender gave it to the board, or to the commissioners.
Okay,
We actually had the Eastern Shore Yearly Conference that a few of us attended. It was really good to meet with some board members from around the Eastern Shore. Learned about a few meetings that we hope to never have here.
all right. Dr. Salins.
Oh, sure. So we have been super busy with several projects this summer. We have just over 40 projects on the books, and we're chipping away at them. So lots of things going on in the district as you go through and look at the schools. Some of those things outside of the school, some of those things happening inside the school. And then we successfully kicked off summer school this week, and so we're in full motion of summer school, and things are going great, and we're glad to have some students back in the building for the summer. So we're excited. We're busy.
Great. So the school work keeps on going even over the summer.
It's true.
Let's see, citizen participation. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? Nobody? So we don't need to read the disclaimer or whatever you want to call it. Okay, or the policy. So then the first information item, 6.01, policy 620 and regulation 620.1, materials of instruction. Dr. Sprankle.
Good evening, President Schiffinelli, Dr. Salins, board members, executive team members. I am Dr. Marcia Sprankle, the Assistant Superintendent here in Queen Anne's County Public Schools, and I will tell you, it is my pleasure to come before you today at the assignment of Dr. Salins and also President Schiffinelli to take a look at Policy 620 as well as the regulations. Joining me today in the audience, we have part of our committee. So I want them to stand at this time, our committee members who worked on those recommendations. If they could just stand, and let's give them a round of applause.
Yes, thank you.
Now, when you tasked us with, or tasked me with the responsibility of heading a committee, Dr. Salins, and coming up with this committee, it became not Marcia Sprankle, but it was the entire committee. And so these folks behind me, I have to give them credit, and some of our folks are not here today, but I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that for sure. And so you'll see the list in your packets as well as the presentation that actually includes the total list of folks that actually served on the revision committee. So, as I said, the committee was established to review Policy 620, Regulation 620.1, specifically focusing in on library media. Also, we developed recommendations. We have prepared to share those recommendations this evening, and you can see those in the folder with all the red highlights and ready to implement once we get approval. The process of the committee. So we started with developing a survey first. That's what happened. We asked each principal in Queen Anne's County Public Schools to recommend at least 2 members to represent their school community. So we got all of those in. And along with that, anybody who displayed an interest, if they called in to Carrie, they called in to Betsy Andrews, or whoever they called, they contacted me, they got a survey. So anybody had any questions about anything, they got a survey. So the survey was actually about the beliefs on classroom libraries. So that's what the survey entailed pretty much. Also, members or interested parties had to commit to the 4 meeting dates because I knew that we had a timeline that we needed to meet because my direction was this needs to be ready for the 23-24 school year. So we had representatives from the northern, southern, and central parts of our county, and all responses and comments were received, and we also got the respondents and they were considered with the committee. So when we met, we actually shared all of that data. We actually sent out over 70 surveys. We ended up having 51 respondents for the survey. So here are our meeting dates this is where we met. So for Policy 620, here actually captures what the changes were. We updated the language to make sure that it was clear and consistent. We deleted references to library media because it was misplaced, and also updating with the new template that we're using under Dr. Kibler's direction. Regulation 620.1, we added new language and updated the language. So for an example, multicultural, we used educational equity. So that's all in alignment now. Again, we deleted all of the references that referred to library media. We also recommended that we have an opt-out form for parents to opt out so that if their student, they don't want their student to read beyond what's included in the classroom library, if they want just their child to read information or text that's board approved, that's the only text that they can read, period. We reworded some things for clarity, and of course, we updated the template. So, here are the committee members. In its totality there, you can see all of the members. And now I'm ready for questions and answers for questions.
The opt-out thing. A parent can opt out for something that's not board approved. What would be in there that's not board approved to be read?
Well, teachers have what is called a classroom library, okay, within their classroom. So we looked at it as a committee that we trust our teachers' judgment, but we want parents to be able to say, hey, no, I don't want my child to have free reign of what they read specifically. So that's where we are with that.
We have some kind of uniformity of what we can and can't have in the classroom, I hope. Teachers just can't bring whatever they want in.
Well, as Dr.
The
Sprinkle just shared,
recommendation is that
recommended-
we allow
the teacher, as a
Teachers
professional, to make that decision.
to
of what
make
goes
that
in.
decision.
I understand that. So the books that are not approved by the board don't go into the media center, they're not purchased, et cetera. But the teachers can have their own classroom, which is fine, because I've been in
Yes.
some of these
Their own
teacher
classroom library.
classrooms. Sure,
Yes.
and I've seen books that are, they're out of print. We'll never have a chance to bring them in, but they're excellent books. History, whatever there is. So what you're saying is the parent has a choice to opt out of the child being assigned a book or reading something that was
Choice selection.
This,
choice selection of the teacher in the classroom, right?
absolutely. So
Okay.
the plan is, once it's approved, I get the okay, we will post that opt-out form on our website,
Right.
as well as each individual school's website, and make sure that that information is available to our families.
Yeah, I saw that on the link,
And the
which is
parent will be
great.
available to go into the classroom to see if there's something that they feel is not appropriate.
They can always do that,
Okay.
always, always.
No, it's not
And-
appropriate, but they feel inappropriate. as an
Right,
individual.
because
Their
I may have a
child.
religious belief, and I don't want my child to read a specific book, and it might just be that one book.
Right.
But it doesn't mean the entire teacher's classroom library.
Right.
But we
So-
also have to understand that there's a lot of books that we don't use that are board approved for instructional purposes, that are for entertainment or for pleasure of just purely reading. So we don't want to exclude those books from our libraries in our classrooms that are self-selection. We want to have a very broad perspective of opportunities within the classroom. Just because a book is not approved by the board doesn't mean it's a bad book. It just means that it's not meeting the needs of our curricular needs to allow students to demonstrate mastery of actual content standards. And so we have to be very focused in what materials we do bring to the board for approval, because they have to be very pointed to address specifically what our curricular needs are. But that's not to say there's not thousands of books out there that are appropriate for students to read
When
for
they have
various
those,
different readings, whether it be informational or entertainment, lots of different reasons.
I personally want to say thank you very much for setting this up the way it is. It gives students, teachers who know their students, and parents the opportunity to continue to learn and grow. And teacher libraries, teachers know what their students need and what they're doing. This is awesome. Thank you very much.
And it remains the same as far as secondary novels and reading assignments. The parents can opt out certain.
Absolutely.
And the child will be provided another book to read, that sort of
Absolutely.
thing. Okay, so that
Always.
remains in place.
Always.
And you said you deleted references to the library/media on one of the recommendations. And you kind of generally stated why. Can you give me a better sort of feeling on
There's a
that?
separate policy for library media.
Okay,
So we didn't understand why
A little
we had.
misplaced.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
we've
was a good
discussed that
word that
before.
she used. It was misplaced. It was in this policy, and it really shouldn't have been.
Sure.
Because it
Yes.
has its own place. So,
It has its own separate
yeah,
policy.
Yeah.
I got you now. Okay. All right.
good question.
Yeah, no, thank you very
Those are
much.
very good questions.
Board members, any other further questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Sprinkle. The only
Thank you
bad
so
thing about
much.
summer is we don't get to see the school's update every meeting.
I
So
know,
all
right?
the activities
You
that are
will,
going
you
on.
will,
All right, we
you
got
will,
summer
but
school
it may be
going,
Dr.
right?
Kibler though,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All
this
right.
time, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sprinkle.
All right, let's see. 6 points. Oh, well, we're due for a break. I don't think we want to take a break. Anybody? Any objections to that? All right.
Thank you.
8.01, Human Resources and Substitute Bus Driver Report. We've all had a chance to review that. And do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve. HR report is presented.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. So if I can interrupt now,
Yes,
because
please go
I'd
ahead.
really
I know
like
what
to
you're gonna say,
recognize
yeah.
some of the people that were in that report that are here this evening and make some announcements. So I'd like to call forward Dan Harding, who, because of your approval, will now be the new principal at
Penn Island High School. So congratulations. We're excited. I know he's excited and pumped up and
I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get in there. Come on.
It's working on
Doing
it.
more
I
than
do
you
a
were doing
photo.
anyway.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I can officially shake your hand.
That's right.
All right.
Come on, blue blazer.
Perfect, thank you.
I got it, you can up there, we'll take your picture.
Bad photographer for that. Thank you.
everybody stay here. And our second approval and thank you for this evening is Mr. John Grow. He's coming to us from Caroline County. He will be our new local accountability coordinator. He's the new Tracy, that's what everybody's gonna say for a little while. Tracy Kennett. He's the new Tracy Kennett. But anyways, we welcome you. Thank you so much for joining our team. We appreciate you. And you have our beautiful family here as well. You're welcome to come up.
Nice working with you.
Yeah, just come here.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna get a real quick photo and then we're gonna invite the family up.
Great.
All right, we'll have his family come up. The awesome thing about John is that he's very well versed in this position, so he's gonna be able to come in and just hit the floor running. So we're super excited about
A
that.
lot of spreadsheets.
Again.
Yeah, right, exactly, lots of data.
Excited? Okay.
Okay, ready? Dr. Knoll, scoot in just a little bit, please. Thank you. That's great, thank you.
All right, congratulations, welcome aboard, we're happy to welcome to our team. It's a great place to be. It's a good place.
Take care.
Congratulations again,
Thank
both of you.
All right.
All right. Call for citizen participation, public comment. Hearing no one. Am I,
No, you
Oh.
got policy
You're at
for it.
8:02.
You gotta do one
policy
more.
408 approval?
802, 8.02.
408 approval.
Policy.
Policy 408,
408.
drug-free workplace. Dr. Knoll, sorry about that.
No worries.
We want a drug.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Salins, members of the board, executive team. My name is Michael Knoll, Director of Human Resources. I come before you tonight for approval after 2 readings, an updated drug-free workplace policy. There was no public input on this policy. There were a couple of modifications per council's request to come to our final version, just a couple of wording issues, but other than that, the policy is now updated and is current with the new Maryland law legalizing cannabis or marijuana.
Okay, and we've all reviewed this on several occasions. You state there's no public comment received.
Correct.
I don't need to read it again. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Dr. Knoll. Now call for citizen participation. Anybody signed up?
Only got
Hearing
one
no
guy out
one.
there.
All right, 10.01, future meetings. July 19th is the next meeting at 5 p.m. That's the usual work session. And then August 2nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. will be our next regular meeting, start of the month. Okay, anything else from anyone?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, have a
Second.
second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Well done.
Hey, Mark, you got it.
All right. That all depends.